All right, let me get this started. Let me turn down the tunes because it will go back and be loud again. Welcome everybody to the show. It is Sunday. It is back to our normally scheduled time and programming when we normally do these streams since my football season is over. So hopefully y'all are enjoying this Sunday and hopefully this time fits you a little bit better. So today's topics, as I did kind of point out, is we're going to go over this XSLB, which I know has a lot of people feeling strong ways about. I did have a very long conversation, as well as the mod team did with the Arc Runner, about the XSLB, why it's set up the way that it is, how it's set up, and feedback that we provided. That doesn't mean more feedback can't be given, but just the feedback that I provided based on who I talked to. We'll talk about today's PvP event, where I have actually already completed today's PvP event, and what I am currently doing is being an amazing citizen, and I'm actually feeding the system with both my Vidars running crappy crews. So if anybody turns Rev in for a terrible crew, don't. I'm literally trying to help people out. I'm feeding and I'll say, like, if you have extra time, do something good for your server. Feed. Throw out your Vidars when you're done, just with a PMC or PvE crew, and throw it out there and have at it, right? So just quick PvP and Panak for me. And I'm just going to try to feed my system now that I'm done. And then also try to do some swarms while we're here. We got to do anomalous phenomenon. It's going to be a busy day, and hopefully good conversation with all of you will help it go by just a little bit faster. Hank's Corner, good to see you. Same one with Vimit. See, RD, I'm not trying to troll. Coaches want 2 Vidars. I literally just had 2 Vidars on my main account since like the beginning of time. I built one, and then I built a second one, and I never really used the second one. So I've got a tier 3 Vidar for no reason, and then I've got my max Vidar. So apparently, Brad just wastes time and money. Hey, Hemi, good to see you. Hemi, I feel like it's been a while. Where have you been, Hemi? Where have you been? XSLB should only be for incursions. No incursion, no XSLB. Traxton, I understand that POV. It's not like this is the first time they've done it. You know, this is something that they've done several times. So, but I get that. And I get why it can be very annoying. And I don't like XSLBs because it's obviously more people that I've got to be in competition with. But it is what it is for now. And we'll just provide the feedback here for Q2. And crap on a stick. I have forgotten to turn on ticket events this whole time. Oh boy. And I've actually been running Armadas all morning. Oh, Rev. Stupid. Dumb. Idiot. Gosh, stupid. All right. I've been around busy and in real life. It's cool to catch a live stream. Well, it's great to see you, Hemi. And everybody's allowed to have their real life, of course, but I've made so many people that I recognize when I see them, and it always makes me happy. Why are they doing this XLB for Hugh for SLB? Well, I think everybody prefers SLB because that means you have less people to combat with. The reason that you have an XSLB is it's purposely, you know what? How about, hold on. We have 220 people here. Let me let a little bit more people roll in, and I will explain why there's an XLB. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain Scopely's side. I am not telling you that I agree with it. I'm not telling you I support it, but I will explain why it's an XSLB. But let's let everybody get in here first. So usually when we do these streams, there'll be 300-400 people. I want to make sure we get everybody here first. That way as many people can hear it as possible. Why they nerf all the directive packs? They have not nerfed any pack. No pack has been nerfed. No packs have been nerfed. Also, can you explain the logic about no SMS? I actually can, Hawk. Now, again, I'm not going to tell you that I'm agreeing with it, but I will explain why. So I just don't want anybody to turn this into well, Rev loves the money spenders and he wants the accounts. That's not what I'm doing. But we'll let everybody roll in here and I'll explain why it's set up like that. And there's a reason, like a legitimate reason for it, not just a pure money reason. I mean, I guess technically it's a pure money reason, but there's a logic behind it besides it just being like a screw the people type deal, if that makes sense. Again, not saying I agree. Rev does love the money. I mean, I love it when you send me money. I don't necessarily love it when you send Scopely money, but I do love it when you send me money because I've got kids to feed and a mortgage to pay. Thomas says, if anyone is having trouble with Vidar PvP, you can just put a below deck officer on a Rialta and machine gun it into someone in any system, score 10 points per attack. That's an interesting way to do it, Thomas. I would say that it's really not too hard to just throw it in here and get your Vidar on. Now, obviously, anybody that has the strike team crew is going to have a massive advantage. So, like when I finished mine, I actually used my Defiant and I ran the strike team crew. And I won more than I lost. But then I'm also kind of like paying back. You see, here's all my wins. 44s, 45s, 47s, 46s. I was punching up, punching down. But now I'm just feeding the server with my Vidars. Just feeding it. I feel like that's I'm really big on being a community layout player. So. But in terms of what's the best thing to do for this, if you have the PvP crew, that's the best crew. There's nothing that's really going to beat it, except you can run an anti-critical crew. Like if you got a max TOS Spock or something, there's ways to counter it. But realistically, IST is the way to go. The Interceptor Strike Team, if you got it. And just roll out like that. There are a couple other ones. Lorca Killy is one that you can run. I'd actually run a anti-critical set with Lorca Killy if you wanted to, but there are other ways to do it. Olvi, good to see you. You're missing one officer for that crew. Is it Ducat? Because they just ran a Ducat sourcing this month, which felt like surprising, right? Yuki Harrison Khan is another good one for the quick shield strip and everything. So again, here's me just feeding people to help them finish their event. You run Khan with strike team or Nero. We shouldn't need to run Khan with the strike team unless you're missing an officer, right? Which happens. And good to see you, Ian. How are you doing? Realistically, nobody who values PvP enough to have maxed out TOS Spock is not going to have IST. Yes and no, Meme. I could say this. Since I made the video teaching players about the value of anti-critical, I've noticed more people putting transporter patterns into TOS Spock for that purpose, and you can argue that that's even more valuable now because of the Interceptor Strike Team that has come out. So, just a thought to have. Olvi says, used IST, seems people don't have max Vidar, 7 wins in a row. Wow. I haven't run into many under-leveled Vidars, though I am bringing a tier 3 one to this fight right now. And I did include a below-deck officer. So, personally, because I will say when we're talking about events, we're going to talk about the XSLB as soon as we hit about 300 people, because I want to make sure everybody could hear the logic, agree or disagree on it. I want everybody to hear it. I will say that I do like the We're the Borg SMS that's lasting the entire run. Gives you a frame here at the end. I wish it was an animated frame, but still, I do like this as a fleet commander incentive, so I do want to kind of reward that. Rob says, what is the best strike team bridge crew order? What do you mean, Rob? Are you asking like, is Battleship, Interceptor, Explorer, or are you asking like what order to lay them? Because the way that officers are on a ship, on a bridge, doesn't matter. All that matters is the captain spot. So for example, here is Ducat as captain in the middle. It doesn't matter who's on left or right. Doesn't mean anything. Just put whoever left or right you want. Just make sure you have them. So, Timmy says, I did run Remo with Cisco and Miles for Solar Armadas. Worked very well. So what you're saying is, Rev learned you something. Now, the only question I have is, did you run it with that group? Because if you ran it Cisco and Miles together, Remo wouldn't have done anything. Remo wouldn't have done anything. If you ran it just like you included it in the run, as in it was part of one of your officer sets, sure. But where is it? Let me show you. Where? Dang it! Where can't I find Remo? Here it is. Remo needs when your ship has a hull breach. Your ship's got to have a hull breach. Again, it can be useful, but by himself, your ship's got to have hull breach. So, how do you get Cyberluck tokens? By purchasing them. Cyberluck tokens are a purchase option. Purchase option. All right, we have enough people here, so let's talk about it. XSLB. I'm assuming everybody in the chat here, and give me a real quick, put the number 1 in chat if you want to know about the XSLB. Put it to number 1 in the chat if you want to know about the XSLB, or like you have questions about it. I want to make sure there's enough people here. Not putting an SMS on recruit Q was a wrong action. We're going to talk about. All right, good. I think we got plenty of people here who want to know about it. Sweet. Okay. So let's bring it up on the screen. The reason that there is a recruit Q XSLB and not an SMS is twofold. The biggest reason is that they provided immediate sourcing for both of these officers in a loop in the game. First time they've actually done that. They've never done that before. This is not in defense of them. This is explaining. So if you go to your rare solo exchange, Galinar, right there. Galinar's there. If you go to your epic solo exchange, this is the board. Galinar, Q. They provided immediate sourcing for both of these officers. Day 1, they don't do that. Now, I will go ahead and tell you, we've run the math, we've discussed this. This is not as good as the Bajoran loop, but it's basically the Bajoran loop, just copy and paste it into board. It does need to be better. Now, for all those saying I don't have access to that boxes, this is for 40 plus. This is not something that a 35 is going to even see. Again, Rev is just explaining the logic. So what this means is, as I have to do my triple chest pull so I can do everything I need to do by getting my directives and then going and pulling indie credits and faction credits and then go do it right again because all I want to do today is grind Borg. But what they did is they copied the XSLB from November with Ducat. And Ducat, there was a special Wayun SMS that you could run, but it was a heroic and it provided only officer shards. Because there are officer shards being provided in this month's loop through a free-to-play grind meta, immediately the XSLB was set up to be a standalone. Now, I did provide, and every content creator and every official moderator provided the same feedback, that every SLB or XSLB needs to have a coinciding SMS. No matter what, everything needs to have a coinciding SMS. This was provided, we had a long discussion. We explained why. We went over the math. We went over the value, the sentiment that things bring. And I do believe that the Arc Runner heard this and understood where we were coming from as players. But their logic is because the Borg officers, both of these, were provided to you in-game already, day 1, that is why they were able, or they justified locking this behind an XSLB, which is in turn more spend heavy than a regular SLB. It's also why there is not an SMS. Now the issue is, and we discussed this with them, this is going to make a lot of people not contribute at all. Like for me, because I mentioned to them like, hey, this has only got 50 spots, whereas the XSLB from November had 100 spots. Their one from October had 250 spots. But 18.8 million points in my bracket, I'm not scoring that. For me to be anywhere near competitive, you know, I'm to get in the top, 10? I'm scoring 7 million points. And my bracket's honestly probably a little bit easier than it should be. But I'm simply not going to be able to participate in that. Now, I will say that I do like the Avatar SLB more than I like the XSLB. But because there's no SMS, you've already removed a portion of your player base who won't contribute at all, which they don't want. They want as many people to contribute as possible. So until that happens, by the way, Alexis, do not self-promote in chat. That's not good. Until you have that, well, you've already taken away so many different people. Strixix says, Arc Runner hears you. Arc Runner doesn't give a hoot. No, they do. They give a hoot. And the difficulty with a lot of this, like you talk about an Arc Runner, well, they've been preparing for this arc for months. And if you notice the past 3 months, there's been different variants of officer sourcing each month. And one of the difficulties of working with Star Trek Fleet Command is, in my opinion, because it's so decentralized, and I don't believe this is a good thing, a lot of their operations and how they put together events and how they're scheduling things doesn't have enough overlap, it doesn't have enough oversight, and there isn't enough consistency because it's so decentralized. Like one person or two people will work on their month, and then those people will not be the Arc Runner for maybe months more. So you just get into this pattern where there's just not enough communication, there's not enough consistency, there's not a set SOP to use the acronym that DJ likes to throw out there because it is true, the standard operating procedure. So because of that, we run into these type of problems. Now, we'll say logically, it makes sense to do what they're doing. I would personally be okay with the XSLB if there had been an SMS. I don't like XSLBs, but I can't deny that they did provide immediate sourcing for the officer. Now, before anybody says anything, I've already got a conversation going with the designer of this, talking about why this isn't as good as the Bajoran version and to try to get this changed. So for those that don't know what I'm talking about there, if you click on this box, you'll notice the biggest pull for Hugh is 5. Well, if you go over to the Bajoran faction, the biggest pull you can get does actually go similar, but then there's a full pull chance. There's no full pull chance with the Borg. So that makes it less valuable than the Bajoran version. Even though it's a copy paste of Bajoran, it's not as valuable. So I'm already working on that front as well too. I'm trying to lower the cost of solo Armada directives. I'm trying to get the token space removed. I'm trying to get the Vidar skin better sourced. I'm trying to get the Vidar better sourced. Hence, some people getting bonus cosmic cleanup. And I'm trying to get the refinery to matter more. And all these little changes will make this loop feel better. But anyway, there's the spiel of everything that I have been doing and discussing with them over the past week. Ooh. And there is a guaranteed chance, by the way, for both the rare and the epic box to pay out officer shards. So like, it's not like the refinery where you can pull the epic chest and get no officer shards. You will get officer shards. You will get officer shards if you pull that. You just might not necessarily get a great amount. So, or even the one that you wanted. All right, now that the spiel is done, let me get in the chat and start answering some questions. Any chance you can talk to them about sourcing for below 40? My server's locked at 39. Thomas, honestly, no. Not that I'm trying to be negative, but besides an event store that might come around, which we know we're not getting an event store for this Borg set, because this Borg arc is going to be very short. They are not going to open up sourcing to a lower level. Maybe we can try to argue for like Galinar, but it's the same thing with the Bajorans. You know, it's Cisco's locked behind being level 40 plus, and there are just some scales that they want people to reach. And part of the reason why there are some of these scales is, well, I mean, there's officer overload. And if you're level 30 and you've got all these officers to source, it becomes almost impossible to do it in a timely manner. You have to kind of scale some of the officer releases. Again, I'm not sitting here agreeing. I'm simply passing along the logic. And then I have to counter the logic with math, and I have to counter the logic with player sentiment, and I have to counter the logic with these things. And that's the process of working with game companies. It's so much fun. Was there a justification for the bracket change for events? So Nick, not sure if you've noticed the brackets, and I'm not trying to take credit for this. I'm simply pointing it out. The brackets for the XSLB have returned back to the previous brackets. So before this arc started, I provided feedback saying, look, almost every player I talked to, not 50 plus, hates the new leaderboard brackets. What I tried to argue for was for the 30s and 40s players to return to their brackets, but the 50 plus players, let's go source about 35. I thought you had to have the epic chest, Joseph, and you don't get the epic chest. You don't get the epic armadas at 35, Joseph, for Bajoran. Unless you buy them, which now we're talking about a whole nother argument. Damn it, Joseph, you distracted me. What was I talking about? Joseph, you got me. Oh, dang it. Joseph, what was I talking about? Oh my gosh. My brain, it stopped working. Brackets. Thank you. Okay, so what I argued for was that the 30s and 40s needed to return back to their brackets, but the 50 plus needed the new brackets. And what they ended up doing was using the old brackets just completely. And that's more feedback, because I do want to be fair to every player. If you're a 50 plus player right now, this XSLB has so little value for you. So little value for you. I mean, it's really poor. It's really poor because you're going 51 to 60 and you're doing it across multiple servers. What's the point of trying to dump your money into that? So even though I got what I wanted for lower level players, like the 38s are not having to go against 40 pluses and stuff now. I didn't get what I wanted for higher level players. And I think that there's just so much that needs to be worked on. And and adjusted and things like that. And I'm curious to see what next month looks like when it comes to SSLBs. Cisco is in the Elite Loot Exchange box for the edicts. I was just thinking of sourcing them through the, you know what? You might be right. I was just thinking about sourcing them through the Elite Directives, the Elite Loot Exchange. So there he is there. And there's the full pull chance I was telling you about. See, this is why, just a visual of why I'm trying to argue with them that this is, the Borg is not as valuable, because this right here, the Borg goes 1, 3, 5, stop. The Borg needs this. Bajor did it right. 1, 3, 5, full pull chance. Even if it's less than 1%, the Borg needs this full pull chance. Borg needs a full pull chance. But you said the Elite Loot Exchange edicts. It does. Well, that kind of changes up my thoughts a little bit. I forgot about this. You know what? Maybe we do have more of an argument than I thought. So Tuesday, what I'll ask y'all to do, Tuesday is the next time I can have a meeting with them. So for those that don't know, in America, Monday is a holiday, and there's not going to be a lot of people in the office. And I have no problem with that. I think holidays are fine. There will be 2 people I know that I can talk to in the office, but not the person I need to talk to about this. So Tuesday, if y'all can make sure to remind me, I know there's 400 people listening. There's going to be at least one person who can. You need to shoot me a message, remind me to bring up the sourcing comparisons of officers in the loop between Borg and Bajor, so I can set up a meeting with the game design over that. Please remind me. I'm sure I will remember, but just in case I don't, because we are talking 2 days from now, if y'all can remind me, I appreciate it. Because I completely forgot about Elite Loot Exchange. So shout out to the person who just reminded me and had me go look at this. I appreciate it, because this does change the thoughts just a little bit. Now, I will go and tell you that getting the edicts you need for this at level 35 is really difficult. Like, it's time consuming, but it does make it technically sourceable. So Stevie says, I don't get why they don't make the Defiant a viable option for Borg Armadas with the attack and edict boost mechanic. I can't answer that, Stevie. I really can't. The only possibility is if maybe they had another ship that they were going to come out with that was special for Borg, like an update to the Vidar. Thus, you don't want the Defiant to make it to where you don't get the new ship. We'll just have to wait and see. So, what is the ISS Jellyfish auction bracket? I mean, 36 plus. I think it's 36 to 40 whatever, but it's supposed to be set up to where if you have an ISS Jelly, you don't contribute to the bracket. To my knowledge, Darius, yes, a treasury is coming. No, I do not have a date for you. The treasury is coming. Treasury is indeed coming. Here, let me put my feeders back into this system, because I'm trying to help players finish the event. Put my little Vidars in there. The edict boost won't work for Borg. You can still use the Defiant. Now, you can use the boost, and I've said that. Do remember this, though. Do not use your Defiant as your primary top 3 ships in the actual Borg fight, because the Defiant is a specialty ship. I'm running into a lot of people who don't understand this. I might need to make a YouTube short about it. Specialty ships, Jellyfish, Defiant, Amalgam, Discovery, Franklin, etc., Sarko, etc., do not get faction bonuses. I don't care if the Vidar is very clearly a Romulan ship with Borg tech, which actually lines up with canon. I don't care if the Sarcophagus is a Klingon ship from Discovery. In this game, they do not get faction bonuses. The Defiant does not get faction bonuses. There's one ship that technically does. I'm not going to worry about talking about it because I don't want to confuse people. So remember, even if you're like, hey, it's the USS Defiant, it does not get your Federation bonuses, which means it does not get the Federation bonus for Borg of a 35,000% damage boost. So very important to know that. Very important to know that. You like the shorts? I do plan on keeping on the shorts. I'm gonna have some shorts that are educational, some shorts that are funny, but we're gonna do shorts. No, dang it, Bondi. No, they don't. So Hawk says that is why there's a special ISS Jelly research. Correct. And that is why, like, where some people are like, well, Rev, why do you care that there's a special ISS Jelly the Defiant's fed? That's why I care. Because to me, the Defiant should be the replacement for the ISS Jelly. The Defiant should be the next 4-star bridge ship. And that's how they kind of release it. It's for solo armadas. It's good enough to use PvE. Like if I put Pipe Road Chin on my Defiant, I can go grind with it. Not be the best thing in the world, but I can do it. You know, that's how they should have set that up instead of forcing an old, outdated ship that doesn't scale very well. The Jellyfish does not scale very well at all. And incentivizing people use that, I think it hurts the average player. So, Rev will continue to drop shorts. Yes, I will. Do you think this game will ever reach a point where they consider power creep great enough to smush content down to be available at lower levels? Yes. Power creep is a conversation I have quite often with both the dev team and game design. I can't tell you I have any definite, yeah, this is changing, this is going to happen, etc. But I can tell you that this is a conversation that's being had because they recognize you can't keep copy and pasting bonuses that we've had in the game for years over and over again. So the big problem with the new Borg Armadas is tier 1 through 8 Vidar owners only getting 6 directives. Barnabas, I'll be real. Just ignore that. Seriously. Just ignore the directive if you don't have a max Vidar yet. You need to focus on maxing the Vidar. I get why they put it in there. I think it would have been better to not even provide sourcing at all. I think it would have been literally better to just not worry about trying to source directives, telling people to really focus on maxing your Vidar. Don't waste your very, very difficult to get charged nanoprobes on 6. It's literally more valuable for you to just save up and let them stockpile than to waste it on that. Spend it on upgrading your Vidar. Do not spend charged nano. I think they really made a mistake doing that because it's going to draw people away from investing those into the Vidar. So that's if I could get something removed, I think I would remove that because it really hurts players. For those that don't know the game math, don't know what the best thing to do is, and they end up doing that and slowing their progression down. Do you think this game will ever let free-to-play players en masse to beat big whales in combat? That already happens, TT. Free-to-play players do that already. Is it super common? No, of course it's not. You know, but there are plenty of free-to-play players who can come take me down. Now, depending on your server age and what level you are and how high that player is, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not going to go take down level 60. I'm not going to go take down Trader. But there are plenty of times, especially with these new crews that have come out and base rating, that free-to-play punch up. Will it ever be a straight 1-to-1 fight? Sure, when you're level 60. But it's not like, I always worry about this because there's not something like special. There's not a special ship that they get access to that you don't get, right? What it comes down to is they're simply rushing into content that's going to take you months or years to get to. Once you get there, you can go toe to toe with them, but it's the time aspect. Will the economy get improved? Yes. I mean, the economy is continually getting adjusted, and the 4-star economy now and the 3-star economy now is way better than it was a year, 2 years ago. It's faster to scale up now, but you're only gonna be able to go toe to toe with people really at your level. And that's just kind of how it is. Are they going to make it to where everybody can just be on equal footing in terms of everybody gets to level 60 in, you know, X amount of time? No, they're not. I'm not gonna do that. Unlock Syndicate 19, very nice. I'm about halfway there. I think they meant rounding up 20 to 30 free-to-play players to swarm the whale. Oh, so like so on a PvP Armada, the closest that you might get PvP Armada for bases. I don't think you'll ever get it for ships, but you might get PvP Armada for bases. But hell, I punch up all the time. I beat people that are 3, 4, 5 levels above me all the time. So it's just about scale. I wonder if this person's calling me a noob. Oh. Take the freebies. I don't like it. They want me to use Vimit to just resurrect. Just take my dang freebies and quit complaining. Just turned Syndicate 23. Nice power boost with holding shields. Yeah. For sure. There's also territory capture where 20 to 30 free-to-play are way more valuable. That's true. There are instances in this game where having mass free-to-play players is more valuable than one big whale. Territory is one of those. If you have 30 free-to-play and they bring every ship they have, that's more valuable than a level 60. Way more valuable than a level 60. So Are Borg officers any good versus Borg solo armadas? They are, Camille. In fact, one of the main ones that I use is 5-7 con. Now, it depends on who you have. Did you watch the critical build video that I had the other day? It really depends on what officers you have. Like if you've got the Bajoran crew, well, Bajorans are gonna be a primary crew. But if you don't have it, one officer that you can use is 8. 8 of 11's captain's ability is increasing your critical hit chance against the Borg. Running 8 with full synergy and then having maybe 5 on another one could help out. It really depends on who you have. Now, there are things that are better. Like I would not run 8 of 11 as a captain if I have Cisco Miles. I wouldn't do that. But I would do it if I was running low on different officers and I didn't have enough. It just depends on who you have. And if that's the case, then yes, it can be very effective. But I would rather, because my Miles O'Brien, I took to tier 4. Like I saw the value in Miles O'Brien immediately. I knew Miles O'Brien was going to be great. And I took advantage of that. And I dumped I dumped a butt ton of my December currency into Miles O'Brien. Now I'll also get him when I do my Bajoran loop. But he was big for me. He's way more valuable than me running a Borg crew, especially with Cisco. But Mark says, just want to say thanks for your videos. It did way back, very valuable. That's awesome, Mark. I will say I need to update a lot of the camping videos because things have changed, but I'm always here to help the players, you know? I love that. 7 doesn't work against armadas. The other abilities function, but may or may not be the best option. Well, 7 is there for synergy and boosting health, and that does work, Meme. I'm not sure I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Does it work? But let's bring it up. I think I know what you're going to say. But when I run 5-7, I'm running 5 as captain, and then 7 is for synergy, boosting health stats to help 5's ability, because my piercing is not going to get high enough. Now, am I talking about this? No, that's for Borg probes. I'm not trying to increase my shots, but I'm using 7 for this officer ability in combination with 5 of 11's mitigation captain's ability to have the highest mitigation possible against these Borg spheres. So yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to do the extra shots. That's very clearly for probes. There are 3 different types of, technically 4 different types of Borg in the game. There's probes. There are special Borg hostiles that were made for high level players up in the very top right corner of the map. There are sphere, solar armadas, and there's the mega cube, which I guess technically there's a little other cubes too. So there's some things apply to some things and not others, which is very confusing about the Borg. I know it's very confusing. But there are certain things that work for certain things and not other things. Miles will be better than 7's captain's maneuver anyway. Yeah, Miles is amazing. Miles is one of the best officers they've put in the game, in my opinion. I love Miles O'Brien. He's super good. Finally got Talon to rank 4 and Chin to rank 3, so I'm building ops level 20 now. Didn't have to camp at 19 all. Boss, that is awesome, dude. You are doing so much better than I did my first playthrough. That is fantastic. That's awesome. Any chance to reduce level bigger players can hit? Not that I know of, Louis, and personally, I know people don't like to hear this. I don't think there should be a level range anyway. I think it should be just like territory. A level 20 should be able to hit level 60 and vice versa. I don't think that there should be a bracket. I think it should be open-ended, but that's just me. As long as this game lets you repair your ships and shield your base, why does it matter? That's just how Rev sees it. I realize that not everybody sees it how I see it. And don't worry, anytime somebody tries to ask the dev team or tells Rev to go say, hey, fix the brackets, I do. I pass along the feedback. Even if I don't agree with it, if there's enough feedback, I pass it on. But I think that the game should just be open-ended PvP. I'm learning from a level 53 player. About what, Alexis? You done for the new event? Very nice. I'm just throwing weak Vidars in there to try to help people out. I've got 2 Vidars. I'm just throwing them in here while I'm waiting for my little ship to make it back to swarm space. Are there any plans to make the amalgam refinery grind not suck? Feedback has been provided. I don't know when any updates of that's coming, but I would like it. I'd like that a lot. So let me check. Have I done my fleet commander today? I've not. Plane, give me Spock, please. Son of a biscuit. Stop giving me Kirk. Every time I get fleet commander dust, that means I'm getting Kirk. Stop giving me Kirk. Give me Spock, please. I want to get the other officer. We got to do Mantis today. I've not done I'm not even touching Latinum lately, just because I don't have time for it. Do these pulls. Mono pips for Fleet Commander. Dr. Jude, please don't start asking for more pips. Stop it. No. No more pips. No more pips. No more pips. Let me do my refineries before I forget. Any day I've not gotten any Fleet Commander shards, or every day you've not gotten shards. I've gotten dust every day. So I guess my RNG has just been good. The sucky thing for me, though, is I keep getting Kirk. I need Spock. So my RNG is sucky, and then I'm getting the wrong person. The only acceptable pip is the Avatar and Frame combo. Yeah, we like that one. There you go. That one's cute. All right, we're still not there. Okay. There's more things to pull. Having more things. Let me get this done. You just got 5 Spock shards. Hey, that's great, TT. I'm jealous because I'm not getting that, but it's great for you. Come on, give me some uncommons, please. Uncommons, please. Thank you. Gosh, anybody getting good results from the refinery lately? Man. More questions, y'all. Throw them in. We've been live for about 40 minutes. We'll keep staying live for a little bit more. Throw in more questions, and then I'll work on some short form content. Have you heard of a bug where you lose officer shards? Involves 225 rares this week. Nope. Have not. Why did we get free cosmic cleanup yesterday? So, obviously, I can't talk to Eco because, well, I mean, I did talk to him yesterday about a very critical issue, but not that issue. And let me just see. No, I haven't gotten a response on a couple other things. But I've been asking for them to help with sourcing for players who haven't gotten a Vidar yet. One thing about coming into this loop was not everybody had unlocked the Vidar, specifically newer players. And one of the things that I asked them to do was to throw out like extra cosmic cleanup and stuff if they wanted to try to speed up that sourcing a little bit. And I think that was in response to that, but I can't confirm that. It's just something I asked. I assume that's what it was. It's trying to help players get the Vidar that don't have it. But without them being here because of holiday weekend, I can't ask. I'll only call Eco if there's a really big emergency. We had a really bad issue on a server yesterday where there was a player threatening to dox people, threatening them to cause them like bodily harm in game. So that issue got taken care of. But other than that, I'll have to wait till Tuesday. I'm level 21 Syndicate. I'm not getting any daily Grush shards. Is this correct? So Daniel, have you maxed Grush? Have you maxed Grush? Once you've maxed Grush, you'll no longer get any daily shards from the refinery. Once you max Grush, you won't get any more daily shards from Syndicate. So basically, you can't use it as a transporter pattern farm. What is up with all the XSLBs? Who asked for them? Or is it just so they only have to pay out one place? So Dirty Snowman, we did talk about it earlier. The reason there's an XSLB for this without an SMS is because they provided immediate sourcing to both Hugh and Galinar in this update from day one for free-to-play players. Granted, it's for 40 plus free-to-play players, but the Borg Armada chests pay out those officers. So because of that, because there's already free-to-play sourcing, they went ahead and said, okay, well, we're going to run an XSLB because we provided good sourcing already. So that's the logic. Not telling y'all that I agree or disagree, just passing along the logic. Already had a very long conversation with them about that and why I don't agree that that's the best solution as a whole. But here you go. And he says the logic fails on multiple levels. Cool. Again, I'm not here to argue the logic is good. I'm simply giving you the response. I've actually already told them why there needs to be an SMS no matter what. Like I went through that, and you know, some of the moderators were there with me. We were having that discussion. There needs to be an SMS no matter what. I mean, the XSLB needs to at least have top 100 winners like the November one did. And I went through with them. How we've run October, November. I provided events. I provided math. I went full DJ on events because he wasn't there yesterday. And I hated it. It made me feel so dirty to go full math mode. But we had a long conversation, and I can't promise you changes are going to get made like next week, but I do think that this Arc Runner will make some adjustments in the content that they create. Whew. Does Scopely have the ability to send an individual player a comp? Yeah, they do. They do. Why do football players celebrate victories at Waffle House? I have no idea what that's supposed to be referencing. If that's referencing anything, I have no clue. No idea. Can Crass work to nullify interceptor strike team? Not really. I mean, I understand what you're trying to do, but he's not going to nullify it. Best way to nullify it is anti-critical cruise. When we seat a fleet commander, does he remain active after 6 hours? Yes. So that 6 hour timer is only to prevent you from hot swapping between fleet commanders. So if you've got a fleet commander, I don't need to click that button. There's a commander button. If you have a fleet commander in, he's active as long as he's there. So if you do this, that does not turn him on for 6 hours. It means you now can't swap for 6 hours. He's active as long as he's there. As long as he's there, he's active. So speaking of, I can upgrade. I don't really care about upgrading that. And I don't have Command Center 10. You guys have chill wars on your server. Surprised to see a chaos target just grinding the same system. Honestly, I probably need to go after him. I'm focused on streaming right now. So, I mean, I get hit all the time. I'm focusing on y'all, the content. There's 450 people here, and I don't want to focus on hunting people. I'd rather just try to do my dailies right here, and then I'm just focused on chat. So I'm right. Chat's right here. So I've got two monitors. Chat's on this monitor. The game's over here, and I'm just kind of glancing, tagging a hostile, and then coming back to chat. So, what's the best multi-phasic pack at level 43? Obviously, this is going to be opinion and varied. The biggest one for me is always the Syndicate pack. I just think that's the best bang for your buck. In fact, hell, I'm going to do it right now. Just anything that improves your Syndicate XP sourcing. This is my favorite. That's my favorite pack. Anything that does this. Obviously, the other stuff is great. But if you have multi-phasics, there are some things that can be better value. The officer packs that come in every now and then, some of them can be really good. Some of them can be really good. But in general, I think the multi-phasic is the most valuable one that they have. I think this is the best one. And you see, like right now, I'm just going to spam it because I haven't done this in a while. And before anybody says anything, yes, I know that there's Syndicate XP events, but I don't spend enough money to even ever place on those, even if I did this. Any info on Spock's Club? Short and sweet of it is, yes, Junebri is fine. He's not like in the hospital or anything. Real life is simply taking his focus. So he does not have time to run and set up Spock's Club right now. I am working with an individual, Stewie and Lou, with the officer tool. They created an Excel spreadsheet version to do battle log parsing. I'm working with an individual right now who's setting up a Discord bot to do the same thing. And I'm even discussing with him about setting up that bot to work in my Discord. So there are people who are trying to fill the gap, but it's just a simple real life thing. But Junebri is okay. Junebre's doing fine. Hopefully he comes back one day. I would love that. But I can't fault him for having a real life. So my banner says 1 hour, 40 plus warp speed is expired instead of what it's supposed to say. Okay. Sorry. Frail says, does anyone know for the fleet commanders on Deuce selectable buffs if you're supposed to be able to toggle between them or if you must purchase another quantum key? No, to neither. You have to make a choice. There is currently no way to change that choice. So here, let me hit another hostile, then pull up the menu so y'all can see it. So if I go in here and I hit my skill tree, any of these, and I talked about this in my video, that has like this circle, you're picking one. Like up here, you picked one. You pick warp speed or impulse, and that's set to stay that way. There's currently not a way to reset it, and then each key you get is for like the next level of decision choices that you'll make. And then you'll decide, okay, I've got two options here. I've got, when I have morale, they gain critical damage. That's actually pretty interesting. Or increases explorers, solo, and group armada damage. Interesting. I pick which one of those I want. So why and how can people report spam? People report spam others. Like, how is there no limit on that? People 178 seem to be weaponizing it. Well, the problem is, even if you create 100 tickets for somebody, unless they're actually breaking TOS, nothing's going to happen. So Spock is better. That's relative, Taryn. I actually think that it depends on what you're wanting. I like Kirk a lot better for me, and especially lower level players. But that doesn't mean Spock's not good. Spock is really good. I like fleet commanders. There's just another research tree, but yeah. Seems that it should be changeable. This is one I really try to focus on. Just make sure you remember it is a choice. And I know I can't expect everybody to watch every video I put out, but I do try to put out the information. I remember a while ago, you recommended a crew that goes against armadas that I believe would offer some kind of hull boost, but would often be destroyed by the battle, even though it would still count as a win. Yeah, that was Leslie Nelson. It's very common, especially amongst Eclipse armadas, to run something like Leslie Kirk Spock or something like that. Not something I would run in a solo armada with 3 ships, but if you're doing like an Eclipse armada, that works. Last 2 arcs are totally a disaster. Definitely can't agree that this month's a disaster. It's nowhere near disaster level. And even last month, the only disaster was assaults. Everything else was fine. So I'm not going to ring that bell. That's a little extreme. We have had disaster month. Can't say that was disaster. Can't say it's disaster. Do you know anything about sourcing the new projectile? The special event is called swiping your credit card. Special event is called swiping your credit card. I think there might be an SLB for it coming up. I have to look at the calendar, but it's money. It's money. If you want the Borg one, it's money. This month is all annoying, all the Borg farm. Oh, the grind's terrible. Don't get me wrong. But the events aren't bad. The payouts in the events are really good. And if we can get them to adjust the Borg stuff, it'll be better. But the events are great. Even if you hate the new Borg loop, which is valid, the events have been really good this month. XO really made the grind tolerable. Even then, I've got the XOs. I still don't think it's tolerable. I think it's ridiculous that I need to get 1 million. It's ridiculous that I need to get 1 million. But again, I'm not going to throw a huge hissy fit over it. I'm simply going to provide feedback and hope that change happens. Speaking of, I actually need to do Nanoprobe Hunter. I ignored this for so long. And now I actually have to do it. I didn't need it back in the day. Level 10 Kirk has 6 choices. Can we only pick one? If I remember right, it's 1 per bracket. No. You get 5 keys. So yeah, it would be 1 per bracket as you scale down. Because you get 5 keys. You get keys at, what are the levels for keys? 1, was it 1? It's weird levels. It was like 1, 4, 8, 13, 21, something like that. But you get 5 total keys. So hit your helps. Yeah, there's those 2 helps. Let me show you how I do that. Y'all are going to really shield your eyes, children. This is how I complete those. Boop, boop. 60,000 Latinum. That's how a rep does it. Laromi, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for signing to be a member. If anybody does want to support, remember, content creators like myself, the meetings I have with the dev team, the work that we do is only possible because of your donations. So PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, every little bit does help out. Thank you for anybody that does. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting me and my family. Donations are how we make a living. So thank you. Why was the sourcing for the Borg miners not included for all players in the Borg store? Are you talking, what Borg store? Are you talking about the refinery? Thank you, Hank's Corner. I appreciate you. You've been loyal, you've been loving. I really do. Also got to give a quick shout out and update because somebody actually just hit the PayPal as soon as I was talking about it. I don't want to give out your real name, obviously, because I do want to, respect y'all's privacy. But Nelson, not going to give out the rest of your name. Thank you. And I'm going to add it to the screen as we work on paying off the mortgage this month. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You're amazing. Thank you for supporting me and my family. My best income was just below 1.35 million nanos in under 20 minutes, but it cost me 4 transwarp cells and 3 summons. Oh yeah, that's terrible. And the epic exo, like I said, the math on the exos is there, but it's still a ridiculous amount of grind. And that's the big thing that really passing on to them is just nobody wants that level of grind for what was for a lot of players. Borg was done. Nobody was doing Borg anymore. They didn't need to do Borg anymore. So you reinserted a grind for a lot of people, and that's the big issue. The notification snafus are known, by the way. There's nothing I can really do about that. I'm just going to tell you the straight truth. It's low priority. The fact that you're getting a notification for solo armadas, I'm not saying that it's not important, but it's low priority compared to like the fleet commander issue that we just had and stuff. It's on their list. They know about it. They know about it. King of Jesus, thank you for supporting the channel. Rob, thank you for supporting as well. Let me put this on the screen. Rob, to get fleet commander shards, the first thing you need to do is the new mission. There is a new mission that is out that you get this month. Completing that mission will unlock the new building, and it will then give you one of the commanders for free. You choose between Kirk and Spock. Now, to get commanders after that, if you do your refinery pull, I just did mine, or else I would show you. This refinery pull here, Fleet Commander Materials gives or has the potential to give you shards every day. So you pull this every day. I've been getting more Kirk shards, which turns into dust, which is really annoying, but you pull that every day. That is the current sourcing path for Fleet Commanders. Now, before anybody asks, I'll go ahead and tell you up front, Locutus is going to be your good, friendly paywall. Everybody loves a good paywall, right? We all love paywall. If you want Locutus this month, can't tell you what future sourcing looks like, but I can tell you right now, Locutus is our handy dandy swipe to credit card. Pa, 1 of 2, thank you. Let's give you a shout out real quick. Thank you, Pa, for supporting me and my family and helping go towards the mortgage. Pa, 1 of 2. I love the name because I'm Deuce. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. You made any list we want scope to change or upgrade? Miramar, I'm not honestly sure what you're trying to ask there. Take a step back. Take it a step back. We're on board for credits, but we've been at war for a long time and everyone is hitting everyone. And see, that's a big reason why I'm really fighting to have the warp token taken away from Borg. That way, if there is a server that's at war or something like that, that'll help try to cover that just a little bit to make it a little bit easier for everybody to still get what they need instead of being limited by the transwarp cells. Wood Cannon, thank you. I just saw that come through. Let me put it up and add it to the screen. Thank you, Wood Cannon, for supporting me and my family. It's now been updated. I really do appreciate you. That's why I'm fighting to get the transwarp cell taken away from Borg. That way you can, 1, choose to grind it when you want to, and 2, if your server is in war or something like that, that will help make it easier for you to do. If you have Fleet Commander Spock, what skill tree choices would you make? Give me a second. We'll go take a look. Yay, and by the way, you do get transporter patterns for both. People try to say you don't, but you do, you do, you do. Get transporter patterns for both of those officers, by the way. Once you max out your Swarm Sunday officers. Command button. And let's do Spock. Skill tree. So Spock's early runs, obviously it focuses on Miner, Architect, and Scientist. Architect is the tree that I probably like the most. Scientist over here increases damage against hostiles. The maximum boost you'll get is 200%. It's not bad, honestly. Then you have your first choice set, which is here. Dilithium storage, titanium storage, and partial storage. I don't care about any of those, to be quite frank. And then over here, increasing your mining rate. So the first one that I would end up getting is the hostile damage, then the mining rate. Your second level is going to be officer health, and then armor piercing against hostiles. Because this is against hostiles, I would really strongly push you to get officer health bonus for stats and stat stacking, but that would be the early runs. Later on, I really love some of the bonuses, not the Devore one. The Acti and Venom one here is actually the one I would prefer for knowledge and experience. You look here at the bottom when you get to level 50 plus, probably, there could be people in the chat. The efficiencies is probably gonna be the biggest one. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I'll have to go calculate the biggest research cost, but those are a big deal. Then over here, you have cost efficiency for station upgrades. That ore one's probably going to be where I'll drop my key once I get Fleet Commander Spock. So there you go. You chose to not have any row be at war, suffer the consequences. Row was stupid and it hurts the game, but it's not about suffering the consequences. There should be a fairness and an ability that the game provides that players shouldn't have to provide. Will strike team officers be added to transporter pattern shop? Highly unlikely that happens anytime soon. Right now, they they are exclusively through the Incursions event store. They could be added to like a big event store again. You can farm pros fine, so I feel Rose is stupid. That's fine, Joseph, but Rose still dumb. And I will never obey it. If I see you OPC in the token system, I'll take it. Granted, we don't play on the same server, so it doesn't matter. And there's nothing somebody can do to stop me. Because I can shield my base. I've got like 700 relocation tokens. You're waiting for 5. Yeah, 5 of 11. I remember having a conversation with one of the devs right 2 years ago. It was summer 2021 about getting 5 of 11 added to transporter patterns. So, no need to take away tokens. Strong disagree there, Joseph. Strong disagree. The biggest reason to take away tokens is to allow player choice. Because right now, the game forces you to do Borg every single day. That's messed up. Player choice, like with Bajor, you can simply choose to go do it in the amalgam, do it one day, get a big stock, and don't worry about it. That's why tokens are a problem. When you made this an everyday, you must grind it mechanic, that is forces and causes player fatigue. This is why players are so upset. Take it away. Lowering the cost of refines does not fix that, Joseph. You need to allow player choice, take away the token, so the people can do it one at a time. You would have to drastically reduce costs by more than half, and they're not going to do that. They're not going to cut everything in the store down by more than half. So Wet Coaster, the reason I don't feel that way about Mantis tokens, though I really don't see the point in Mantis tokens, is because there's only one part of a loop. Mantis tokens is one singular loop. Borg is now multiple loops. So, because you've got an Armada loop and a regular hostile refinery loop. You've got 2 loops now. Bajor has 2 loops. So, because of that, it's different. Mantis is one thing. You go do Mantis, and then you apply it to one set of things, like your upgrades and your researches. But there's no Armada loop with it. There's an Armada loop. As soon as you have multiple loops, you can't lock it behind a wall and limit how much somebody does while also saying that you have to have the maximum amount you can do. That's the difference. Now, I'm cool with taking away all tokens except specialty tokens for like the mining systems. Like those lucrative mining systems, it makes sense to lock that behind a token and make it special. The people who really go and earn for it or pay for it should have it. But when you have multiple loops requiring you to grind one currency, yeah, you're creating a intentional pain point in the game. And this is why the vast majority of players are frustrated, because it's such an egregious addition of grind time, even with the exocomps. So removing that adds player choice. And while yes, I am fighting for a lower cost on certain things, this makes it to where you can say, okay, on Saturday, I have time to actually get my entire week's worth of Borg done instead of, okay, I got to do every day 15, 20 minutes to go do Borg. Even with exocomps, the fastest way you can do with the Epic Exo is you're still going to spend 15 minutes minimum between travel times, Exo, etc. to do your Borg every day. 15 minutes a day adds up when you've also got to do Mantis. You've got to do dailies. You got to do swarms. You got to do Bajor. You've got to do your Stella loop and scrap. I mean, there's just too much to do. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Can Scopely make a system non-PvP? Why would they do that, Coaster? It's a PvP game. It's a PvP game. Well, it's a 4 times game. 4x, if y'all don't want me to like use 4 times. Removing Borg token will greatly increase my grind time to avoid being hit OPC. Won't change anything for me, but none of the servers I play on care about OPC anyway. Like they're going to hit you if you're OPC. So. But keep in mind that there's also things you can do for that. There's officers, there's research, there's ways to change that. And honestly, if everybody's doing it, like everybody's doing the once a day, once a week, whatever method, I doubt there's going to be as much activity. But we'll see. Every server is unique. And that's one of the cool things about this game is experiences vary across servers. And I try to be active in as many of the servers as I can and their discords and talk with players from every server. But I mean, there's always going to be varying opinions. Most servers I know of don't protect combat ships and token space. I don't know. There are only a handful of servers that protect things like Borg space. It's very rare. It's very rare. So If I can grind 45 to 60 minutes once a week, much better than 10 to 15 every day. That's how most players have been to me, Nathan. And I'm not saying everybody agrees with that, because they don't. Not everybody agrees with that. But what I will say is and this is just me seeing literally thousands of players. You know, it's one of the benefits of me as a content creator is like this channel alone reaches about 75,000 players a month, like unique players. That's not 75,000 views, which could be the same person over and over. This channel reaches about 75,000 players a month. And what that means is that it opens me up to seeing a lot of opinions, including opinions I don't agree with. And that's fine. So, but what does let me see is a pretty large sample size of where most people lean left, right, etc. And most people really dislike the daily grind level, but that doesn't mean it's the universal answer. And I can't say that it is. We had the same thing with, if you remember the Mantis exo comps and the Apex hostiles and stuff. Some people like the automated exos, which I strongly preferred automated exos. Some people didn't want automated exos at all. They actually wanted it manual. Now, those players who wanted it manually were in the minority. I polled twice, and it was about 30% of players preferred manual, 70% preferred automated. But that still is a pretty, if you think about how many players this game has, 30% is a lot of people. So finding that universal answer just doesn't exist. And I've had to accept that and learn that. You know, Rev's way is not the way. Your way is not the way. Finding some middle ground is the best way. Server 89 protects armadas. Oh, Zayuk. Yeah, that's called being a brand new server. That's going to go away. Oh, God, that's going to go away. I love hearing new servers because it's funny. When you know this for 4 years, I don't laugh in like a mocking way. 4 years, been here. Servers do the same thing every single time. It's hilarious to watch servers grow and do the same thing that this server did 3 years ago. It's the same path, man. Things get protected over crazy rows, armadas, gentleman's agreement for deep space mining. It's the same pattern over and over. It's just great to see. It's great to see. And I say let servers live out and learn and grow the way they do. I love it. I do. It's just funny to see it over and over, right? It's just, I guess it's a good thing. It just kind of speaks to how our community is and like how naturally we'll try to progress and things. And as Philip brings up, there's a stark difference between EU servers and APAC and US servers. APAC and US, especially US, far more war crazy. Like way more willing to just smack the crap out of somebody. EU servers, really big on the rules. Like, hey, you can't do that. So it's pretty funny to see the differences in cultures and community and US servers. And the reason I laugh at 89, because 89 is a US server, but like how a new US server develops and how a new EU server develops, very different. And then you'll get some servers that flip and they'll go from no row to extremely strict row. Like for a while, 32 was like that. And I think 32 has changed back. Like they've changed like 3 times where they were super row or no row, then super row, then no row again. Well, row's still there. Keep in mind that when I'm saying row, we're talking about no loot, don't shoot, no, OPC's OPC. Nobody's going after miners. Nobody's actively calling for you to just smack miners off nodes or anything like that. But talking about exhaustive rows like token spaces, armadas, deep space mining, those type of things. So maybe I should get a fun account on a US server. It all varies, right? And again, there's no wrong or right answer. It's just crazy to see all the differences. So, but there are a lot of things that just are consistently happening. Like you have this on server 92 where all new servers immediately try to go into like protection mode and go crazy on row. And it happens every time I join a new server. Even if I don't say anything, it just happens. And then it naturally has to break down a little bit based on what's going on. So based on how NA and EU metagames could evolve, and CCGs used to play, EU players are more loyal to certain things and less likely to just play the best deck in the meta. That makes sense. How am I doing the XSLB? I'm not participating in the XSLB. As in, I'm not trying in the XSLB. 49 protects floating miners. Shoot. No thanks. I mean, I don't really see a point in hitting a floating miner anyway, but you're not going to tell me I can't do it. At least a well-equipped mining ship can try to put up a defense when being jumped. I will say this. I know that the sourcing for this is not great yet, so not a lot of people have gotten it. But if you want to protect your miner, these auto defenses, pretty damn strong. Really damn strong. Really damn strong. Like, they are really good. So, 92 hit 2 bases last night. Oh, dude, I actually got a message from an admiral on server 92. I'm tempted to pull it up so y'all can see it. You know what? I'm actually going to boot up that game and see if the message is there. He was like, dude, your alliance member raided me. We're going to have a problem. I'm like, shield or share, bro. Suck it up. Shield or share. There's even a question in the server 92 Discord, or was it global chat, about does row cover bases? Hell no, it doesn't cover bases. Shield or share. I will send you the t-shirt for $25. No. So, yeah, there you go. You send them a link to your shield or share shirt. I should have, Max. It's a good point. But anyway, I mean, even if you're like how Joseph was in terms of their opinion, and I just want to make sure everybody knows that your opinion is very welcome here. Even if I disagree with it, your opinion's valid. I want to hear it. And the more people that agree with you, if I'm in the minority, please don't ever feel like Rev won't pass up feedback because I'm minority in that feedback. I will always pass up the majority feedback. And even if that means that I disagree, I'll always pass that up. So just FYI, y'all don't ever have to worry about Rev like trying to push his agenda. If y'all literally come through and say, Rev, we don't care if you like Armadas being a free-for-all. We're here with 60,000 people saying make no PvP for Armadas. I'll pass that feedback up. How do I become a member of your channel? Oh, Lewis, so becoming a member is a YouTube thing where you're agreeing to sign up and support monthly for X amount of money. There's a little join button, and if you want to look into it, you can hit the join button. The best way if you want to support, and anybody that donates can get access to our special channel on my Discord. We have an area just for those who donate to support me and my family. They'll get, more one-on-one time. They get sneak peeks at different things. They can ask me questions. I check that out a lot more than I do the regular channels. But anybody that donates gets access to those. Here, let me put up real quick. I'm gonna see if is this DM still in my messages? I pulled up my other account. Ah, there it is. It is still here. Yeah. All right, this was like 2 hours ago. I was checking my server 92 account. Let's see. Where is BlueStacks? Boop. Boop. All right, let me put up here on the screen. Let y'all read this. And this is, by the way, this is not to shame. This is not, be very, very, very clear. This is not to shame Master Witcher. This is just talking. This is new players and going through the new experience. New players going through the new experience. I'm the Admiral of my own group, same as you. Your player Stormcrow916 raided my base multiple times. I've never attacked him nor your alliance, just letting you know what happened. I do this before I take any action on anyone in an alliance as far as I'm concerned. I'll attack him only unless you plan to deal with him yourself. I have no issues with anyone in your group but him. Shield or share. If you retaliate against them, break road, there will be issues. There's nothing wrong with raiding someone's base. That's the game. But this is what it's like. New players, new experiences. So, there you go. But remember, server 92 is a month old. They don't know. This is a new player. This is a new player. And he is level 21, 30 million dilithium, a lot, that level. I do appreciate that they're trying to get everybody to drink water daily. That's a good thing. We do like drinking water. But yeah, there you go. Shield or share. Them's the rules. Them's the rules. This is my server 92 account. I'm working on getting my Tala built. Thomas, was he messaging you while you raided him and he was pretty upset about it? Sounds like a lobbyist for Big Water. Yeah, there you go. A lobbyist for Big Water. I've never even heard that term before. I do think that reps 1 through 14 should have some access to Borg DLC as free to play. Thus, I'm not sure exactly what you're bringing up. Being within row doesn't mean you have to be happy about it. You mad you got hit them back. Well, like I said, KBA, if you what I was telling him, as long as he's not going after like the Alliance's miners, I don't care what he does. He can go hit any warship from the person that raided him. He can raid their base. Just don't hit their miners. Leave the miners alone. I do strong, even as a pirate, I am a strong believer in leaving people to grow in the game. Mining is needed by everybody, whether it's isogen, whether it's ore, everybody needs to mine. Even as a pirate, I think you should be able to mine. But other than that, no, have at it. I mean, if you catch Thomas slipping, raid his base back. If you see Thomas's warship out doing a mission, this is going to make some of y'all mad. I don't care if somebody's doing a mission. I will smack you. I don't care. Warships are always fair game. So Borg probes are needed by everyone. Even as a pirate, you should let people collect them in peace. Negative, Nancy. Because if I can take 500k OPC from you, I will. OPC is OPC. Now, I'm not going to go kill your Vidar that has nothing. But if your Vidar is sitting there with 250,000 inert probes, thank you. Thank you. OPC is OPC. Those are my two basic rules of the game. That's what I've followed for 4 years. No loot, don't shoot. OPC is OPC. What's the highest level on the new server? 39. There's several 39s on this new server. How do I add to that mortgage fund? Well, George, I really appreciate you asking. Here are my donate links. I've got PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Anything is appreciated. Anything's welcome. It's how we make our living, how we support our family. And I appreciate you asking. Thank you. He did message me. Basically, he forgot to shield, gave me a thumbs up. Well, that works. That works. There you go. So yeah, I leave empty stuff alone. Now, if you're floating it, keep in mind when I'm saying warships, I'm talking about like right here. See, I like these people who are just floating here doing absolutely, diddly kumquat. They're not doing anything. I'll hit this. I'll go blow this up. But if we're talking about like somebody's mining probes or swarms, I'm only going to hit them if they're OPC and if I need it. Like with a Franklin, I'm not going to go kill somebody's OPC Franklin for the sake of doing it. But if I need what they have, I will. Do you think this game needs more ways to incentivize low stake PvP? I agree with you on that. I do. I agree with you on that. Loved it when Rev took 10 bugs to hit someone's Vidar, then got hit. Yeah, dude, that's the game, and it doesn't bother me at all. If I hit somebody OPC and then they come back and smack me or somebody else gets me, hell, that's the game, and I love it. Doesn't bother me a single bit. You have to know the repercussions of being a pirate. Repercussions of being a pirate. And look, there was a time because as the content creator and drama from alliances and stuff, where I was hunted by the top alliance on my main server for over 2 years. I mean, talking about level 60s, 50 pluses, like impossible to fight back against. So the whole like being hunted threats never bothered me either, because I learned I can shield and I can mine in other places. And I was hunted 24/7. No big deal. Play the game. Vidar PvP event was enjoyable. I thought the Vidar PvP event was one of their better PvP events that they've tried to use before. And I really appreciate that they did not put it in a token system. Like, I'm really glad that they didn't say go PvP Vidars in the token system. That would have been awful. That would have been terrible. I would have been really upset if they did that. Even if they gave tokens, I would have been really upset they did that. That would have been a lot of screaming in our dev chat if they did that. You did like the Vidar PvP event and like that it was a hub? Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. It was really funny. You should push them to continue that. I will, Pokey. If there's positive feedback, I will make sure to pass it up. I really like the below decks point bonus. Yeah, that was good too. I think it was a well-designed PvP event. As far as PvP events go, I thought it was well-designed. It gave good scoring options. It didn't require you to kill a ton or even get killed a ton. I thought it was pretty fair. Even if you didn't have like the interceptor strike team, you could still reasonably complete that PvP event fairly quickly. And I agree with you, Joseph. It worked because it's Vidar versus Vidar instead of letting somebody bring their Vorcha in and just clear it out, right? No, you couldn't just camp there with your biggest ship. So, I mean, and that's why, like, on my main account, y'all saw, like, I actually help out my server. Because we can talk about Rev being a pirate, and Rev likes to pirate, but I also like to help out. So, one thing that I do, and I would encourage anybody that has extra time to do this, just send your Vidar to the system. Like, once you're done, put your, like, PvE crew on there or something, and just send it out there. Help everybody else finish the event. That's what I've been doing. Just throw it out there. Help them finish the event. They need to change the dailies to be dock such amount of G4 OPC. Yeah, okay. 18 Vidar blow ups because I don't have Cardassians. You could have run like Yuki Marcus Kang or something, or an anti-critical crew, but yeah, I mean, even then, Vidar's hella cheap to repair. It's a level 25 ship. The biggest thing was that you could score by losing and score by just having a below decks officer. Any below decks officer, by the way, like you didn't have to be using Hugh. Any below decks officer worked. So I just think overall, they deserve a little bit of praise for that one. I think it was well designed. And I might even ask the people in my Discord and we'll provide that feedback to them in the Discord. I thought it was a good event. More stuff like that. Yeah, Joseph, the Vimit strategy is great, especially if you're going to feed, but honestly, I just didn't want to mess up my crews and just swap them out. So I'm not using Vimit. I'm just sending 2 ships and letting them blow up. But the Vimit will give you 2 hits. I just didn't feel like moving all my crews around. The brackets were a little bit wide in my opinion, but even with that, it was still much better than usual for PvP events. I didn't feel like the brackets were too bad because it's Vidar limited, but I get that. I thought it was really good. So I'll make sure to pass it on to the Arc Runner today and let them know. In fact, I'll do it right now. I'll go shoot a message in our dev chat right now and just let them know how appreciative everybody was and just give feedback on that. Compared to previous PvP events, most players I'm talking to really enjoyed the Vidar versus Vidar event. Here are the main reasons they enjoyed it compared to previous iterations. So we liked it because below deck officer bonus, limited to Vidar versus Vidar, points for a loss. And we say that would probably be the main 3 points. Can you ask the devs to add an alliance-wide message? I mean, I'll be honest, Masa, I'm not going to just go ping them about that right now, but we can talk about improving alliance abilities and everything, yes. I would also say the milestones were very reasonable, even if all you did was lose. All right. Looking to be mostly PvE for my star base between level 1 sector to level 9 sector. Where's a happy place to stay for mine? Be able to get good NPC AI battle points. Dustin? The game is going to like continually progress you out. For that, if you're at that low level, what hostiles are you needing to hit? Basically any level system. Like if you have a mission that needs you to hit level 8 hostiles, look for a level 8 system. So I think I've got enough points. I'm not going to overload the message, but I do want to make sure that they know what made it so good. Normal servers milestone. I'll pull it up here in just a sec. Let me shoot this to the dev. All right. Make sure that we love giving positive feedback because positive feedback leads to positive events being repeated. We always love to, we don't want to just rail on negative ones. We want to make sure that they know which events we really enjoyed So, all right. So you can see my server 20 milestones for the Fleet Commander event is 300,000. 300,000. When does Nova come in the faction store? What is that? 51? Is it 51 for the Nova? One of our high levels want to clarify. Let me just FCFC.space it real quick. FCFC.space. Let's see. Nova 52. 52. Yeah, 52. You might see it at 51, but 52 is when you can build it. 52. But you got to have the rep. I don't remember if you can. Because even without the rep, I don't think you can pull it in the 40s. I think you can see it, but I don't know if you can pull it. So Joseph, they did tailor. It is set based on players. Now, it's not always perfect for each server, but they did do it by their tracking of players per server. 1.1 billion rep, and I still think that you have to be at least level 51 or something, or level 50. I mean, I realize that you can see it, but I don't think that you can draw it until you've actually entered into the 5-star economy, but could be wrong on that one. Ming's here. Ming's one of our higher levels. 1.1 could be bought at levels 49. Okay, so 49 then. I was pretty sure it wasn't 47. So if it's 49, I'll take your word. What is the one non-faction ship that benefits from faction research? The baby jelly from like level 12, whatever it is. Give you a quick shout out real quick to Mike. Obviously, I don't want to put out your real name. This is very generous of you. Thank you for this. I've just seen it on my phone. Thank you for donating to the mortgage and the family fund. Thank you for supporting me and my family. I greatly appreciate it. And I've now updated the list. It's there. Thank you. Thank you so much. That is very generous of you, and I really appreciate that. Thank you for supporting me and the kids. Thank you for all the hard work. Well, I'm glad, and I'm just glad you enjoy it. So, yeah. All right, feedback has been passed up, and one of the devs has already responded. So there you go. Let me check. Cash App only comes through my phone, George. I don't typically check it on. It did. Thank you. Here, let me put it through. Did you do this to fix the OCD? Because I know Kinky Jesus loves like making people's OCD go crazy. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? All right, let me put it up here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. y'all are so kind today. I really appreciate it. I gotta also give y'all a YouTube short today. I need to make a new channel in my Discord about what YouTube shorts that y'all want me to design. What real quick, like hitters, like what's something that y'all would like to know in 1 minute? Now there's some things that I have to make a big video about. Like if I'm going to explain, mitigation, I can't really do that in a minute. But if y'all want to know about, okay, like how I deal with the ISS jelly, shoot me ideas in my Discord. And yeah, I want to continue to provide content for y'all like that. So, but anyway, one of the devs has already seen y'all's feedback. So, yeah, Demon9982 for sure. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. While I'm managing to get the PvP done, we're at war, and I really hate when there's only one system, no PvE option to complete. But it's so easy to complete Hellbringer. It's so easy, and there's even a bonus. There's even a bonus. Solo cruise after your long one. Well, again, solo cruise really needs to be explained because even people who listened to that 13, 14-minute video didn't get the point. Like, my whole solo crew Borg video was trying to tell people, focus on these strategies. This is why you focus on mitigation. This is why you focus on critical. And yet so many of my replies were, well, I don't have Bashir. I don't have Cisco. I'm like, it's not about having Cisco. It's about building on mitigation and building on criticals. So, and then, see, that's the thing. Like if I did that in 1 minute, I'd just have even more of those comments. So, not when an enemy Corvus is guarding the system. Okay, so a Corvus guarding the system is just that particular server being a butt, Hellbot. Because obviously a Corvus doesn't really do anything for you there. That's just your server's war being annoying. But overall, I think the design of the event is very good. Hopefully can't really account for your server being at war. Too busy grinding probes to worry about PvP? Well, Laura, I would say that the PvP is a heck of a lot easier with good payouts. Have you seen the payouts of it? I thought the payouts are really good. Do you, is it for your level and stuff? Do you not think it was very good? Did you mention the loot crew for all the players who are stuck with the level 41 Borg Armada? Have I told them about, I mean, yes, you can use my loot crew video there. I haven't like brought it up specifically. Yeah, I mean, I thought the uncommon ore and stuff was a good payout for that PvP event. And no, Jimmy, I don't have any update on Bashir right now. I don't have any update on Bashir right now. Oh, hold on, let me respond to the dev real quick. All right. The dev actually thanked y'all for your feedback. Unfortunately, it's running my B crew. My A crew is currently running standard Troy, Data, LaForge on the bridge. Lower deck starting Crusher and Riker. Very nice, Dustin. Very nice. It's good to see some early players in here. All right, we just hit an hour and 30, so I'm going to wrap up. If y'all haven't already, come join the Discord so we can continue talking about Star Trek Fleet Command and everything else. I'm actually going to try to take my son to the comic book store for the first time today, so that should be very interesting. I've never taken him before. For those that don't know, my oldest son, Alifalet, he is autistic, but he loves heroes, superheroes, Marvel, etc. So I'm going to try to see if I can take him there and see if he's interested in comics or interested in any of that stuff and see if it makes his day. And then after I get done with that, I'll come back here and try to work on some YouTube shorts and content for you this week. Please join my Discord to let me know what content that you would like to see. I have a channel in there that is called Ideas for CCs so that I can get an idea of what y'all want. And I will see y'all in a little bit. I love y'all and appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. Thank you everybody who's been here. Everybody likes the video on your way out. Everybody who commented, everybody who donated. I really appreciate all of you. Y'all help make my life great with my kids, and I greatly appreciate it. Live long and prosper. Stay safe for those Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. Catch you on the next video, Star Trek Fleet Command, which is literally every day because I'm obsessed with this game and this community. So,
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.